Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dustin Perry from Ghost Hunters and Ghost Hunters International, and you are tuned into the Paranormal Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen. It does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Okay, so first and foremost, a disclaimer to anyone listening who is already offended by the title of this episode. We need to make this perfectly clear, Mike. We are fans of both of these programs. Big time fans.
We have a large bag of love for both of them.
A large bag of love. Yes, it might even require multiple bags to contain our love for both Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters.
GH.
GA versus GH. And the versus part is what got me concerned. I was like, do I want to title this Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters? Like, nah, we'll just stick with the verses, you know. But then I started thinking again, because you have to worry nowadays about offending everybody out there. Is verses too harsh? Does it sound too negative? Then I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to leave it because we're going to put out a disclaimer that we're doing. It's an attention grabber, hopefully, but no, we love both of these shows. We did a version of this many years ago, back during the Alternate Route podcast days, and it was time for an update. I mean, that was probably at least 6 years ago when we did that.
Yeah.
And that episode is long gone, is no longer available. It was available on our Patreon page, but our Patreon page is no longer available.
It has ceased to exist.
It has gone to visit, to join the choir invisible. Yes, it has done all such things. Forever? Maybe. But never say never. I mean, we might rekindle the Patreon page. I mean, we still have plans to make a website finally. Maybe we'll finally get that going and put all the old archived episodes up on old website. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother ball of wax and bag of issues and all that good stuff. We have bags of love and bags of issues. So... But anywho, if you couldn't figure that out already, you are in the Paranormal Zone, your weekly dose of all things, hey, you guessed it, paranormal, strange, and mysterious. My name is Patrick Koffenberg, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host with the ghosts, the paranormal poster boy himself, the withering away but yet comfortably numb, Mike Carbno. Mike had to point out, the first thing he said to me, he says, look how gaunt I am.
Well, you know, it's gotten to the point where, you know, I feel so bad about any time that I bring up my health issues because the listeners go, okay, here we go again.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
And then
how often do we have to hear this? But, you know, I've really become invested in this. You know, it's like I'm failing drastically and quickly.
Well... But yet, again...
I will cease to exist.
No. You're not going to go that far.
I shall be no more.
No.
Taking that boat ride across the river. Okay, whatever.
No, you, first and foremost, you're getting married. But most importantly, you're my co-host. So
yes.
You need to stick around for a while yet, okay? We're just getting going here on the Paranormal Zone. I don't need you to die. How's that sound?
Well, tell my doctors that.
Okay, don't kill Mike.
Yeah. Anyway, quick update. Nothing's worked. I've gotten worse. My arm is dead and gone.
Well, it's still there. It's physically there.
But it's dead.
Yeah.
I have internal issues that I haven't mentioned that I don't need to go into. So everything's getting just wonderfully. It's a journey.
It is a journey. That's a good way of looking at it. Now,
I've
how
lost
is your
60 pounds and I have no idea why.
That is a good thing though, because yes, I mean I wouldn't say you're gaunt, but you're looking thin,
Oh.
you're looking good. So Mike's very proud of his jowly neck flesh.
That's that Ronald Reagan thing. It's
No,
like
but
a prosthetic.
You look good. You look good.
I don't know,
You're
look at it shake.
yeah.
Like one of those dragons with that flap under its chin. God,
Oh no, Mike's
those
exaggerating
lizards or whatever.
just a wee bit, exaggerating just a wee bit. But thanks for joining me here,
Demetrion
Mike.
or whatever that dinosaur is. Yeah.
No, that. Okay, why'd you have to bring
know-
that up? Because
but
I
you
know
know what I'm
exactly.
talking about,
I know
though.
what you're talking about. The Dimetrodon was actually. It's not classified as a dinosaur. That's just actually an ancient reptile. And are you thinking of the one that has the big giant sail on its back?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. No, you do not look like a Dimetrodon, not yet.
Okay.
So until you start growing spines,
Yes. And I don't look like a brontosaurus anymore.
or an apatosaurus, So,
Absolutely. Or a Nessie.
what the hell? Now I'm all flustered. Okay.
Or even just a simple walrus on the beach.
Come on now.
But anyway, yes.
So,
Okay.
very briefly, I have to ask you though. This is what I was going to ask. But your right
Yes.
hand is functional, right? You can still grip your like a pencil and all that stuff. You can write.
I can still write, but my arm is getting weaker and heavier all the time.
Oh God.
So it's like when I'm trying to write and I have to either use my shoulder or turn my handed thing from the Addams Family.
Right. Yeah.
I swear to God, it's like,
Man, it almost looks like it right now.
yeah, it's like, so I don't know. Yeah, but that was holding it up with my other
Mike,
hand.
you know what? With all this crap you're going through, you're bubbly, you're bouncy, you're taking it like a man, and you're positive, and that's the only way you
Yes.
can.
To the
take
daytime
it.
world on the outside, I am a happy bastard.
That's right. So I mean, just look at it that way. So
Do I have meltdowns? Maybe. Do I go into fetal positions laying in bed at night? Maybe.
well, I wasn't going to tell anybody, but that's actually what you're doing.
Do I
right?
cry?
That's-
You know,
I wasn't going to tell anybody, but that's actually what Mike's doing right now. He's laying
Yeah,
down.
well.
He's curled up in the fetal position. He has the microphone propped up
I'm
on a.
hugging my microphone like a teddy bear.
Exactly, it's propped up on a pillow. Mike looks all cozy. Anyways,
But all jokes aside, all that stuff that I said is actually true.
it is. But you know what?
Um,
It's not depriving you from taking on your podcast host duties, and
Exactly.
you're on fire as always.
Well, there have been a couple of times, but we won't talk about that.
Where you've been on fire? Oh God.
No, where I have
Oh
not been able to continue with my
well. You know,
podcast duties.
again, I think we need to start another podcast just where it's a weekly update of your medical conditions.
Sure.
Maybe
Yeah.
doctors will tune in. I don't know.
Yeah.
They all want to diagnose you every week.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, Mike. Ghost Adventures versus Ghost
yes.
Hunters.
That awesome subject. Like you said, we've done it before and we're going to do it again.
Updated version, absolutely. Hell, there's been plenty of seasons since the last time we did this. Have our opinions changed since so long ago? Perhaps, maybe, but I don't know. I don't think they really have when it comes to these two juggernauts of paranormal programming. I think it's safe to say that these no disrespect to any other awesome paranormal programs out there, but
absolutely.
these are kind of the kings of the paranormal programming world.
We've talked to too many of them to
Right.
discount any of them because we personally know how great they are.
Well, and they've both been around for going on 20 dang years, man. So, my gosh, that's impressive. The consistency, the production, the fact that they're still producing good quality episodes because people are interested. I mean, that says a lot about it. I mean, a lot of programs have come and gone, but these have stood the test of time. So that's pretty cool.
Well, and the successes that they've had as well as far as look at what's branched off from Ghost Adventures and what Zach has done, all these side businesses that bring in so much money
Exactly.
to from the paranormal. And then Ghost Hunters, look at the changes that they've had to make and that they've had to deal with over the seasons that have totally restructured.
No, great
them
point.
a few times, and look at how they made it through that and look where they're at still.
Well, they were
restructured again and awesome.
They were, on the brink of, I hate this word, cancellation almost, because Sci-Fi Channel was kind of messing with them with their content. They're cutting their programming in half before eventually letting them go. But you know what? Hey, they re-signed with Travel Channel, and now it's Discovery Plus and all that good stuff, and they're on fire. And okay, props. Come on, selfish slaps on the back to us. I mean, yeah, we kind of have a soft spot for the Ghost Hunters crew because, as Mike mentioned, we've had the honor of speaking with several of the cast members on this podcast. We have yet to speak with anyone from Ghost Adventures. I do not know if Zach allows it. I really don't.
I don't think, and I don't think he does them either. I was,
he
cruising through some of the things that were written on Twitter, like on his page. I was kind of checking things out after you and I had talked about that. I wanted to see how things were. And it sounds like, he is just does not do this kind of social media thing as far as on podcasts.
No, you cannot.
I'm sure he would not allow the other guys to either.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, how much of a leash, if any, do the cast members have on them, with Zach holding them at bay or not? I mean, that's kind of a long-running joke. We don't know. We have no idea. That's just kind of the image that's portrayed of Zach as this control freak. I mean, is it legit? Is it not? We don't know. We only
do we go by what we've just heard, or do we go by what we've seen?
Yeah, exactly.
Recorded by some of these people that have had these complaints, and
absolutely, and that's going to be part of our. That's going to be some of our criteria here as we go down. I have a list. I have a list, Mike, of 9. Why make it 10 when we can stop at 9?
Exactly.
That's just kind of what we do here.
Why do today that you can put off till tomorrow?
Great point. Great point. So I have here my professional notes. I've written down Ghost Adventures v. Ghost Hunters and the 9 criteria that we are going to compare and contrast between the two, and then choose which one we think is the better of the two. Go as such. We have production quality. We have cases covered. We have cast members. Now, where's that going to go? We don't know. We can go any number of directions with that. Maybe likability, professionalism, any sort of ways we can look at for cast members. Entertainment value. Legitimacy, that's going to be interesting. The educational quotient, the drama/controversy quotient.
I can't wait.
The OG quotient. Hell yeah, the original gangsters of ghost hunting programming. And finally, evidence captured. This is going to be a pretty darn fun, laid back, casual, but hopefully entertaining discussion. Mike, it's going to be good. Should we just start? How Mike's already giggling. He's looking forward to one of them. I know that for sure.
Well, since, the other day before we even knew what we were going to be talking about, I just had good vibes about tonight, no matter what it was going to be. And then when we came up with what we're going to do, that vibe just kind of intensified a little bit. So
yeah,
I feel good about this.
Mike definitely feels good about it. So that's always a good sign.
And first, real quick, I want to apologize for my raspy voice.
I didn't notice your raspy voice at all.
I don't know. I feel like it's raspy.
I think it sounds great. You have that awesome radio voice.
Well, I like to do the best that I can when
go.
I can, and that is the way it is, the way it was, and the way it will be.
Wow. That wasn't...
Thank you. The time on the wall says it's time to go. We are done.
All right. Yep. We're not going to dive into this topic at all. We're over. See you later, everybody. Bye.
And that was not actually my great radio voice. That was just a quick...
damn good voice. Yeah, I just recently applied for Leprechaun Radio. WK Gnome in Cincinnati.
Oh, gosh, my name is Patrick.
Yes.
And I'm a gnome. I'm a wee little leprechaun.
Yeah, I think it'd work. I think I have a future in gnome/leprechaun radio. So
I tell you, my microphone is bigger than my head.
Yeah, well, it's like an orange on a toothpick. I tell you that right
there
now.
You go.
Anyways, it just wouldn't be an episode of the Paranormal Zone without me ripping on myself. But that's okay.
Oof, yeah, well,
it's all right.
Okay.
Man. It's okay. Well, let's start with let's just start from the top here, Mike. On our list of 9, why make it 10 when we can stop at 9? Because we say so. Production quality. Production quality, Mike. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Adventures versus Ghost Hunters. Now, you know what I mean by production quality. Overall, the visual presentation, the the editing. I mean, everything that goes into the quality of the episode, the professionalism. I mean, they're both very professional.
Very professional. Yeah.
You know, the eye grabbers. I mean, any number of factors can go into this. I'll throw it to you first. Your thoughts on production quality between these two juggernauts of paranormal programming. Which one would you have to pick and why? Mike is
that is a tough one.
Mike is
It is
scratching
tough.
his chin. He's now
you know,
looking at his.
I like the way Ghost Adventures has, you know, their like their intro setup and everything, and when they're like when they're talking about where they're going and they're walking to a location or.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike froze up for a second
Building.
here. Yeah, no, I'm talking over you, Mike, because you froze up. I'm sure I probably froze up on your end. You know, wouldn't be an episode of the Paranormal Zone without things going awry one way or another. But
And you missed everything that I said.
well, you said you like the beginning, the intros of Ghost Adventures when they're walking through the building, the locations that they're at. Now continue.
Yeah, and they're, the way they're having fun and interacting with the fans, and they do a lot of that. Like when they were in Vegas and they were picking people from off the street to go in actually hunt in that hotel.
They seem to be doing that more often. They've done that
yeah.
once or twice already this latest season. I've noticed this last
Yes.
episode they had a couple come into the haunted San Carlos hotel with them, and that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I love that kind of interaction. It's just like these huge fans that have this chance to actually hunt with them. I think that's a pretty big deal.
Oh, a very big deal. And as far the technical aspects of it, I think hands down. And again, when we're talking about this, these are just our opinions, and we're not putting the other show down or the other show above the other one. We're just being honest here with our opinions. But I think the production quality of Ghost Adventures outdoes the production quality of Ghost Hunters, and it always has. It just and again, Ghost Hunters, especially the old original episodes, that had its format, it had its structure straight to the point. They'd introduce the case, and they maybe interview some
plumbers that hunt ghosts.
Absolutely, man. Oh, those were the days, weren't they?
Yeah.
You'd see them doing their little roto-rooter jobs. That was
opening the episode when they're both under a sink in the bathroom. Or something.
exactly, casually talking about ghosts. Yeah, those were the days. But is again, like you kind of briefly touched on it, Mike. The visual presentation of Ghost Adventures, the intros, they obviously they hire, guest actors to come in and perform these roles sometimes, when they're reenacting some of the alleged, well, seems more often than not, a lot of violent occurrences that some of these cases or some of these locations have been riddled with, and they bring in actors to reenact these. I don't think Ghost Hunters has ever done something like that. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I am wrong.
I don't think they would.
That's the thing too.
It just doesn't seem like something, Jason and I just it's just too, it's just not them. It's not,
exactly.
It's acting.
It doesn't fit their mold.
It's thespianism or something like that.
Well, we're going to touch on that later on too, but
Exactly.
the old Ghost Hunters did have a little wee bit of drama in the original episodes too, and we'll touch on that when we get to it. But I think it's safe to say, for me, I will give overall production quality of every episode, going back to 2004, the original dates of Ghost Adventures. I would give the nod to Ghost Adventures, and I am giving my check mark on my professional notes. 1 point for Ghost Adventures. What say you, Mike, on production quality?
Let's see. What did you vote again? Let me hear that one more time.
I voted Ghost Adventures. Oh,
Yes.
Did your bell just ding on its own, or did your
No,
dead arm fall on it?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it.
I know. I got you. I hope you don't wake up at night and you feel your arm on you and you freak out because you think it's someone else who's besides
no,
Mary.
But when I have to, when I want to reposition, if I'm laying on my back and I want to put my arm behind my head, I just kind of lift it up by the wrist with the other arm and drop it behind me.
Your left arm is probably becoming more and more capable of doing stuff that it used to not be.
Yeah. Well, I still spill when I eat.
Oh,
But
you'll get better. Okay, Mike, production quality, Ghost
anyway,
Adventures or Ghost
I need more
Hunters?
finger food. But anyway, I would have to say Ghost Adventures as well.
Alrighty. So that's 2 check marks besides Ghost Adventures for production quality. And what we'll do, we'll tally up our check marks at the end of this episode and we'll reveal our final tally as to which one takes the crown of paranormal programming here.
Right. On to the next.
Whoa, good one. I like that. That looked like your did you literally use your left arm
to lift my right arm to do that.
to slam his
I'm a joke.
Oh my gosh. He used his left hand to lift his dead weight of a right arm to literally slap at the bell. And
hey, it came through loud and clear.
It sure as hell did. That was good.
Dropping a brick on it. So anyway,
the next one I have written down, Mike, is or however you want to say it. There is cases covered. Now we don't have to go into any specifics, but just kind of off the top of our head, running through our memories of all these awesome locales that they've investigated.
There's some great ones.
Oh, they're great. They're great. But in your opinion, have the Ghost Adventures team tackled more intriguing cases than the Ghost Hunters team, or vice versa? Now, should we a production meeting on air here? Should we be able to call it even for one of these or any of these categories as well?
Thinking the same thing, because I mean, both these teams, they stop at nothing about where they go, how far they go. It doesn't matter. I mean, both of them.
Ghost Hunters has even sacrificed one of their original members. Steve can never go overseas to check out England, some of these awesome locales because he's afraid of flying, and I don't blame the man.
Yeah. That was a tough one because he felt that I mean, not being able to go, it
upset him.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah.
So I think it's let's make the decision that we can give points to both here. We'll give 1 check mark to each if we can't decide, if we think it's even. Sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
So now that being said, can you make a decision here, Mike, with cases covered, where they've gone, where they've traveled, the again, the locales they've hit up, there's so much history. I know there's so much history that they've checked out. They've investigated such fantastic locations. I think I might already know where I'm going to go on this one, but I'll ask you first.
Well, you think of the like the lighthouse episode with Ghost Hunters. The Eastern Penitentiary.
Oh, Eastern State Penitentiary. Yeah.
And, Waverly. I mean, and they've both been to these places, and they both just give it so much. Mm-hmm. Wherever they go, like I said, everywhere, anywhere, doesn't matter.
And
both of them.
They have both. I mean, not that often, surprisingly, but they have covered the same locales. Both crews have gone to the same locations on occasion, but it doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong on this one again, but it doesn't seem like that's something that happens very often. But man, I mean, I'm just thinking of I'm drawing a blank on the exact locale. But the Ghost Hunters, episode where they did fly overseas, and I believe it was in Ireland, and Mike, do you remember that? It looked like they captured like glowing fairies out in the woods.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to say. Well, maybe it was fairies. That's safe to say that, but or fair to say that. It was fantastic footage. I mean, it wasn't fireflies. I was just gonna say that.
Wasn't swamp gas.
It was just intriguing. They've been all over the world. I find this one too difficult to answer. I'm going to give my point to both. So I don't know if you are going to choose one or if you're going to go the same way as I on that one.
I just right from the beginning when I started talking about it, and before you brought that up, I was thinking, this is going to be
Yeah, that's a
You
tough
know,
one.
It can go both ways, and that's what I have to go with.
All right, they're both going to get a check mark here. They're both going to
Yep.
get a single check mark. So right now the tally is Ghost Adventures 3, Ghost Hunters 1. And we've got 7 more to go.
Bing bang.
No, this one can go this one can go any number of ways. I just wrote down cast members. Now,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like I said, any number of ways we can go with this. The likability, the professionalism, just simple preferences on our part. Now, Ghost Hunters has had about, 100 times more cast members through the years than Ghost
Absolutely. They
Adventures
burn
had.
through them like crazy.
So what does that
You know what?
say, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where, Ghost Adventures, it's been, it started off with Zach, Aaron, and Nick. Then now it's Zach, Aaron, Jay, and Billy. And they've been...
Yeah. Nick will be nowhere around them again, I'm sure.
Hell no. And we're going to get to that later. I'm sure we will, as far as the drama controversy quotient goes. Okay, let me start with this one for cast members, okay? This is another tough one, but I am going to make a decision. I find a lot of them from both crews to be very, very likable, okay? Very, very likable.
Very.
Some of them, just to be honest, not so much. And I'm kind of looking towards some of the, again, we're not ripping on anybody, just how they come across on television. I remember a Ghost Hunters cast member, and I'm not picking on him. So leave me alone, people who are offended. And if this guy's listening, I apologize. I'm sure you're a really nice guy. But do you remember the investigator named Andy way back in the day in Ghost Hunters?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We aren't ripping on him.
No, we are not. But I also
He's
recall...
like a little Weasley little thing. I'm sorry.
We're not ripping on him, but he's a little Weasley.
I retract that. I mean... But no, I mean, I'm trying to
I agreed with you, by the way. So.
I'm trying to get the picture of him in my mind, and I think okay, dark hair.
No, he had like lighter, kind of blondish, sandy blondish, hair. Maybe it was kind of dark too.
I can picture his face though, and
yeah, absolutely. He was very skinny. He was a smaller guy.
His face was kind of Weasley too. I don't want to say that, but
kind of pointy, a little pointy.
Yeah. Sharp, pointy teeth. No,
God.
anyway, but yes, but okay, but what is your point about him though?
My point, just as an example, even back then, he rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know why. Maybe he's the greatest guy in the world, but he just came across as I didn't enjoy when they interacted with him. And even Jason and Grant, I remember, because Jason used to, back in the day, he didn't take crap from anybody. But
God, yeah, nobody.
He got a reputation as being kind of a dick, whether or not it was earned or not. I don't think it
Well, you could see on his face all the time too.
Yeah, he was ornery. Man, he was an ornery plumber. But he had some run-ins with Andy, I remember back in the day, and I kind of sided with Jason because this guy was kind of snarky. He came across as snarky.
Yeah, snarky is that's a good way to put it.
That's I'll leave it at that because I don't want to turn this into a bash Andy episode because that's not what we're doing. We're just being honest here. So that's just one example. Other than that, not too many cast members from Ghost Hunters have really rubbed me the wrong way. And they used to have several of the original members were female. Chris Williams, Donna. Do you remember Donna LaCroix?
Absolutely, yes. They were all awesome. Yeah.
I had a personal preference for a couple of them because, okay, this is dating us for sure. I was so excited back in 2006 when Lisa and Paula became my friends on MySpace.
MySpace, yeah.
Oh, that was so cool. And they would interact and they were so nice. And I was like, so I have a soft spot for those two. So, Chris Williams, obviously a big time member of the original Ghost Hunters crew.
Well, Amy,
Bruni,
Amy
Bruni, obviously. I mean, the list goes on and on. I really enjoy the majority of the Ghost Hunters crew. It comes to Ghost Adventures. I haven't had a problem with any of them. The only one that I've kind of had a slight problem with, for various reasons, is Zach. It's everyone else is perfectly fine. I've always enjoyed Aaron. He's entertaining. You know,
Yeah, he's very entertaining.
And it seems
Lock
like
him in an attic by himself. Oh man.
seems like a genuinely nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, we're going to dive into it later. Whatever the rift is between Nick and Zach, we don't know. The old original episodes, you couldn't sense anything going on, so something obviously happened down the line that made those two not like each other anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's a different thing about Ghost Hunters, because if they had problems with a cast member, they aired it right out there on an episode.
Oh,
like that Brian, for example. Yeah. You know, our favorite.
Wait, you mean, hold on. I uploaded this for just this episode. You mean this Brian?
Dude, run!
Hell yeah, dude, run.
Boy, did Jason get mad.
Oh, man, alive. Classic.
And I remember that they came up running out from where they saw that, and that was at Eastern State.
I believe you're correct, yes.
But anyway, they come running out and into that room all lit up with Jason and the other guys in there. And they're trying to like explain, oh my God, those are, Jason's like, you can just see this anger welling up in him.
He wanted to tear into him. And Grant, you remember the visual of Grant mocking him like he had his, this is what you look like, Brian. And Grant holds his arms up in the air, and he's like, because they made a great point, because Jason's like, these people are hiring us. Do you realize what it looks like when you run off like that, freaked out like a scared little boy? I mean, I get it. No one has ever rubbed me wrong on the Ghost Adventures crew, except how Zach comes across from time to time. But again, I am a fan of Zach Bagans. My God, that guy has earned his millions. He's a hard-working SOB. That's for flipping sure. Oh, Mike, how do I pick this one? Well, actually, you know what? I'll throw it to you, and I want to get some opinions from you, and then we will decide where we want to go with that one. Does that sound fair to you before we choose the cast members we prefer?
I can do what I can with that, yes.
All right. So, Mike, without any further rambling on my end here, which I'm good at as well. Your choice, if you had to pick, Mike, your preference of cast members from Ghost Adventures, from the Ghost Adventures crew versus the Ghost Hunters crew. Go!
I would have to choose Ghost Hunters.
Ooh. That was very. Did you you sounded exasperated there? Was that the reception? Because I literally heard this. I would have to choose Ghost, and then you said Hunters, so it was kind of interesting. So that it must have been the reception issue. So, but you know what?
There was a little bit of reception issues.
Yeah, exactly. The podcasting gods have been messing with us here, but we're gonna forge through this crap and get this episode out there. But do you have any reasoning behind why you would choose the Ghost Hunters crew?
Well, you know, we got to see so many different people, and you know, it's kind of getting to know these different cast members, and so many of them that would come and go, and it had such a good variety. You know,
that's a good way of looking at it. You know,
it gave us more people to talk to on our show,
right? Selfishly speaking, of course.
Which we have been neglecting to mention that, you know, one of our favorite Ghost Hunters or previous Ghost Hunters crew members, Dustin Perry.
Oh man, 3 or 4 time guest on the Paranormal Zone.
4, I believe.
I think it's at 4 now. Yeah, it's. And thank you so much, Dustin. What a guy. Yeah, I just love talking to him.
Awesome guy.
He's so supportive of every. You know, he's just a good. He's what I call a good egg.
Oh, geez, at least.
At least a good egg. Yeah, you know.
And the last time we had him on, I believe I remember joking with him a little bit about his hair thing on the episodes.
Oh, hell yeah. You know, back in the day, Mike, when we'd watch it, and we told this to him during our chat with him, like you just mentioned, you know, Mike and I back in the day, we kind of kind of joked and maybe made a little fun of Dustin, because I think you brought up like in one episode where he had to literally stop at one point and look at himself in the reflection to make sure his hair was all right.
Yeah. But he admitted to it. It's like, yeah, that's him.
And he's like, hey, gotta look good, man. Gotta look good. You know, I'm like, absolutely. Such a good guy. But, you know, I'm with you, Mike. If forced to choose, I would choose the Ghost Hunters cast as well. You know, a good example, you said, Mike, the variety over the years. And you have the stalwarts, you know, Jason and Steve, and, you know, and Tango's been there forever now as well.
Sure.
Yeah, I would have to choose the Ghost Hunters cast, if for any other reason other than they seem like the type of folk where you could sit down and have a beer with, you know, and just relax.
Sure.
Where it's almost like sometimes the Ghost Adventures crew, Zach especially, maybe this is all on Zach, they seem out of reach, you know, they seem off limits almost. It's like, oh, there's Zach and the Ghost Adventures crew. They're over there on a totally different plane. But I don't know. I would have to choose the Ghost Hunters crew as well. So that's 2 check marks for Ghost Hunters, Mike. All right, this one's going to be fun. Ding! Used his left arm to manipulate his right arm. Again, that was pretty cool.
It's like a puppet.
Well, you know what? It's a fleshy puppet, so that's good.
I should design a rig to strap to my back that has like a arm that goes up.
Maybe that's your new calling. Your new calling. You can be a ventriloquist, and you can just put like a sock on the end of your right.
Yeah, or
right
just take my 2 fingers right there and put eyeballs on them, those little roly-poly eyeballs.
Oh man, that'd be creepy. That would be pretty darn creepy. Hey, before I forget, we move on here very, very briefly. Shameless self promo. I do have several of my original art prints available on Mercari now. I forgot to they mentioned that months ago. If you're interested, sincerely, I know this sounds shameless, but I would love the opportunity to share some of my artwork with you guys. Go check out my Mercari page. You can find the links on our Twitter page, our Facebook, my Facebook page, my Twitter page, and just click it and you go right there and peruse some of those prints. I would love to see you guys there.
I actually did go and peruse your Mercari page.
Nice.
And he's got all the good stuff on there, so it's worth checking out.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Mike. I uploaded a couple others as well, so that'd be pretty
I
awesome.
wish I had some to plug.
It's a pretty convenient way to share your art, that's for sure. So, Mike, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, next category, plain and simple, entertainment value without mincing any words. What say you when it comes to the entertainment value of Ghost Adventures versus Ghost Hunters?
Oh, man. They're both, that's another, high level on both sides.
For different reasons, too.
For totally different reasons, yeah.
But I'm going to put my foot down because I have one that I'm going to choose. So I'm going to say, Mike, co-host with the Ghosts, you need to make a choice here. We're not going to go neutral on this category.
On this one, okay.
Unless you can't.
Well,
it is tough.
Entertainment value. What? Yeah, it is. Entertainment value. Even though it's kind of an irritant, and it gets to be a lot.
Emphasize on the lot.
Well, seriously, I mean, it's got to be Ghost Adventures. I mean, with Ghost Hunters, you've got like the Brian stuff, which is awesome. The pretty boy Dustin that we love.
Absolutely,
these people that are so entertaining and.
The ornery,
love what they do.
The ornery, fearful, not fearful, but you feared him, Mr. Jason Hawes. He was the boss.
Oh, yeah. And then when he drew that goatee and dyed it really black.
Oh, hell yeah. And he lost some weight. And now he looks like, good God, man. I remember when I first met him at a Paracon and I shook his hand. I commented, I said, whoa, you like broke my hand, sir. And he's like, yeah. He squeezed my hand so hard. He has one of those forceful, like, I'm Jason Hawes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
He was happy to see you.
Well, you put me in my place.
Give me that
that's for sure.
small little hand, man.
Give me that leprechaun hand of yours.
You man-child, get out of my way.
Okay. Anyways, so you are going with Ghost Adventures. Can you just maybe give one or two examples why?
Yeah, well, I could put it in the words of a famous poltergeist Beetlegeist. I got demons running all through me.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
So, and that kind of sums up a lot of that.
Like you said, I mean, sometimes it can be an irritant, and we get it. And we've joked about it several times how it's like, God, have the Ghost Hunter or Ghost Adventures crew, Zach in particular, have they ever encountered a nice ghost? It's always demons. And I have to say, shout out to a listener and friend of the podcast, Michael Blackthorne. I loved his comment on our Twitter post the other day. He was like, my thoughts on Ghost Adventures, he's like, frat boys trying to talk to invisible demons, and when the demons fight back, they run away screaming.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I mean, that's fair. It's absolutely a fair take.
The only way I could respond was with a gif of a very young Betty Davis raising her glass and saying amen.
Amen, brother. Yeah, I gotcha. They I'm not pushing back on Michael at all. I don't think that they run away squealing or however he wrote it. But I realize it was written in jest and humorous, but it's damn close sometimes, man.
Yeah, well, let me tell you though, remember that episode that we've talked about before? I think it was like their premiere episode. Zach was down in that basement lost. And he was running around
that's very true. That was hilarious.
Like a scared mouse in a maze. And there was no food at the end for him to get.
No lump of cheese at the end of the hallway.
What was that? Wasn't that when the brick flew by or something?
That was, I think, their original special, their 2-hour documentary that really hooked me for sure. Because we're going to talk about that later. But as far as evidence captured, my God, that brick thing was pretty darn amazing.
It was awesome. Yeah.
But, so actually, I retract my statement. I agree. To some extent with you, Michael, about them running away squealing, because they have, for sure. They've Zach is kind of contained it a little bit. Aaron always freaked out back in the day.
Oh my God. I mean, when Zach gets that look in his eye and he's like, Aaron, you're in the attic, locked in.
And Aaron's like,
no light, no flashlight. No. And you see Aaron's face just popping like, oh no. But he does it.
He does.
He knows he's signed that contract,
and
with blood.
And the last few seasons, Aaron has really kind of, I don't want to say pushed back or fought back, but they've really kind of added more of that kind of laid back, joking atmosphere where Aaron is like kind of pushing back on Zach, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm not doing this. You always put me in these situations." They turn into kind of humor. So I think Zach has become self-aware to an extent, of how he comes across. It has come across, but it's hard to shake how you are and how you have been. I understand that, but they've grown over the years, but they still have that uncanny entertainment value. And for reasons such as that, Mike, again, nothing against Ghost Hunters because they are unbelievably entertaining in their own manner. I have to go with Ghost Adventures crew as well. So 2 points to Ghost Adventures for entertainment value.
Yes. And I am waiting for the entertaining episode when Zach says, "Shh, turn down the spirit box. I think I smell something."
You are okay, Mike.
What?
God damn it! I sounded like a complete buffoon right there because I was struggling to recall this particular incident. I was like, God damn it, because I thought you were sincere, and I was like, so I stumbled over my words and I sound like a buffoon. I was like, what? And then I realized I was like, God damn it, I was had again.
I just thought it was a great, a potential future episode.
Okay, I get.
Gimmick. They could.
That just went over my head completely. Wow.
And actually, I wasn't thinking about being a gimmick. I was thinking of it actually happening. So,
my bad. I hate saying my bad, but sometimes I deserve to say my bad because it annoys me so much. All right, Mike. Legitimacy. Now, this could be taken any number of ways as well. We can start kind of flying through some of these a little bit. As far as your overall vibe as to which one, if you're forced to choose like you're talking to a pseudo skeptic, you're talking to a cynic, and you say, okay, sit down and watch this show versus the other one. As far as if you want legit paranormal programming, which one would you choose and why?
I would have to go with Ghost Hunters. I mean, a good example of that is Jason's famous line, when in doubt, throw it out.
Great point.
It's like they're not there, like, oh, let's grab this, and throw it into a paranormal lump. It's like, they do that, the scientific as well as the the paranormal, and they do that with a great balance. I mean, that you can actually get something out of.
That's a terrific point. And to be brief on that one, I agree. I was going to go Ghost Hunters 100%. You even saw it in episodes back in the day where like Grant would disagree with Jason or vice versa. One would think something as maybe this is potentially paranormal, and the other one's like, no, not at all, because such and such happened.
And they would take even the littlest thought of it being not legit. They don't take it. They don't.
Right. They even had episodes, because I don't know if this has ever happened on a Ghost Adventures episode. Ghost Hunters aired episodes back in the day where nothing was captured. Everything was quote unquote debunked,
Right.
Where they actually called out I think it was a bar or a restaurant where they basically figured out during the investigation that
I was just thinking of that.
They had been kind of had basically by the people who had called them in, I don't know how it came to the point of actually filming the episode before someone realized that, but I remember that one pretty well.
Yeah. They had like you'd go into a bathroom and you'd see something in the mirror, or there'd be something.
Didn't they have something like
the vents?
The vents were like maybe, yeah. Because I'm remembering like the glasses would move, like the glasses hanging from the bar.
Yep.
They would somehow move, but then that was totally debunked by.
Yeah. Oh, and then they discovered and realized that it was actually rigged items.
Exactly.
And then the management there saying, well, those were there because it's for the people that come into the bar for a little scare. It's like they were trying to say that, oh yeah, they're there, but it's just for business. But
which probably happens quite a bit, man.
I'm sure
locales get a reputation as being haunted, and they totally push it. They totally push it, and hey, as long as they're not claiming it to be legit, they're just saying maybe it is. So come and check it out for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that, I guess.
No.
All right, Mike, we're going to get into some good stuff here. Not that the other ones haven't been good. The drama/controversy quotient. Ghost Adventures versus Ghost Hunters. Oh my God, we could go any number of ways with this one. The drama. I mean, not only just within the episodes themselves, but surrounding the show, on social media throughout the years. The cast member fights. I mean, all sorts of stuff. The talk about controversy. Accusations of fakery. I mean, any number of ways we can go with this. The drama controversy quotient, Mike. What say you and why, my friend?
Well, the quotient is high on the obvious Ghost Hunters side.
Oh, you say it's obvious on Ghost Hunters. Oh,
I just wanted to see those eyes pop.
Okay. I'm not falling for
Ghost Adventures, obviously. I mean, I don't care how my poker face was on that. You should have just.
All you need to know is a shirtless Zach and scratch marks every other episode. The running, the squealing, the yelling,
the squealing.
And oh man, I do believe there is a possibility that Zach's eye issues, as he claims to have been caused by his investigation of the demon house, where he experienced, shocking, a demonic presence that somehow, what he saw totally affected his vision. And that's why he always has his glasses on. He's had his glasses on for years now. I believe there's a possibility to that being legit. But as far as that was just one example that popped in my brain. But the drama, Mike. Oh my goodness. Now, to be fair, the first season, I don't know about the second season, but the first season of Ghost Hunters, this may have been due to the network heads kind of nudging them. Hey, you guys make this kind of like a reality type thing. Let's get some family turmoil involved in this. Let's talk about Brian Hanoi's relationship problems during the episode. You know,
and
thankfully,
how it affects the show.
How it affects the show. I mean, to be fair, I mean, they had that. That was a big part of the first season of Ghost Hunters, but you could tell again that was grating Jason the wrong way. He hated it. And thankfully, that was cut the next season. I think that was the only time they ever dove into the drama quotient on Ghost Hunters there. And again, the other side of drama, I mean, the drama between Nick and Zach, what the hell's going on there? I mean, so many stories that support either side. We don't know. I couldn't even begin to guess what is causing their riff. The drama almost weighs you down when it comes to Ghost Adventures. Not to step on your toes, Mike, but I'm going Ghost Adventures all the way here for several different reasons. I am guessing you are feeling the same.
I would say as well.
Thank you. Wow, that was great.
I'm waiting for you to say what are some of these things that you.
Well, do you have examples that popped your brain as to why you would choose Ghost Adventures
as the most dramatic?
Yes.
I mean, where do you start? I mean,
I know that's the thing. We have a time limit here,
and you can start from the beginning, the end, and anywhere in the middle, and it's all going to be huge.
Yeah, and they even play into the drama, like I say, in their reenactments. The hired hands they have to, they totally make it into a soap opera almost when they're reenacting, these scenes, the screams, the bloody, the gore aspect of it. Ghost Hunters doesn't even touch that stuff.
Right.
Not saying that they've never perhaps encountered something demonic, but they don't dwell on it, and just this whole obsession with demons on Zach's part, is it legit or is he just pushing this thing because he realized he's getting ratings out of it? Well,
he's the type of businessman where he's going to do what he has to get ratings.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that, there's not a.
No, I know where you're going on that one. There's no, that's not saying that there isn't legit issues happening for Zach right there. He hasn't had legit encounters with demons.
Right.
I agree with you on
that's what I don't know if I got cut off before I said
a little bit. Yeah.
That's exactly what I meant. Yep. So, but the things with, when the shirt has to come off, if he's gotten scratched or something, or it's like all of a sudden he's flexing, like a full body flexing, from the waist up, his face and everything, and his ears, and it's like, and he's screaming at the devil to get a demon to get off of his back or out of his body or whatever. It's like this dramatic fight
while he's pounding on the wall. I know, and he's hitting with all of his might on the wall, and he's like, leave me. Yeah, I mean, it gets to be a little bit much, but I don't know. It is what it is, and it's not going to change. And you know what? Again, more power to him. I mean, my gosh, the guy has built an empire.
Well, and we better stop talking about him because our computers start.
I know. I
freezing up, and
I think the demons in Zach's mind are hearing us right now. So
the tentacles of Zach's demons are reaching out.
I don't want to think about Zach's tentacles. Oh man.
Anyway, the suckers all up and down them.
Man, should we? Yeah, we should probably start flying through some of these. How about Mike? So it's safe to say both of us chose Ghost Adventures for the drama controversy quotient. So actually, we give the points then to Ghost Hunters because they, this is kind of I hate using the word negative, but it's leaning towards the negative aspect. So Ghost Hunters gets the points not because they are more dramatic, but because they aren't. Now, as far as this one, I have I have labeled as the educational quotient. What popped in my brain when I wrote that down was basically how it sounds. Do you feel more informed about certain locales, certain hauntings, the history of these hauntings after watching an episode of Ghost Adventures or after watching an episode of Ghost Hunters? That's kind of what I was getting at when it comes to the educational quotient. And also as far as paranormal investigating itself, you know, the equipment used, the reason why it's used, the explanations of the equipment. What say you when it comes to the educational quotient of either of these shows?
Well, I would say that, well, Ghost Hunters, like, I was saying before,
Nope, and he froze up again. The demons are still attacking us. I'm sorry, Mike, that's still attacking us. So you have to continue again here. And he's frozen again. Oh, he looks like he's lost in the space.
I was
right
just
now.
waiting for you to come back.
I'm back. So let's try this again. Back away, demons. We banish you from the podcasting
Get
ether.
thee behind me, Satan.
But you were saying something about the equipment, I believe.
Yeah, they bring in this great equipment. It's like they're ready to, and they have people making. They had people making.
No, you're talking about
and
Ghost Adventures.
designing.
You're talking about Ghost Adventures, right?
I was talking about Ghost Hunters.
Okay.
I mean, they both do that. I guess. I mean, the equipment and I feel like Ghost Hunters, you get a lot more information about what they're using and the interaction with that equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's, more on screen time with that, with Ghost Hunters. I mean,
Sure. One thing that just, and again, I'm stepping on your toes because I'm apparently
that's okay.
I'm really good at that.
I was starting to stumble anyway.
No, that's fine. An aspect that popped into my little noggin was I am going to go with Ghost Hunters simply for the fact that by watching these episodes, my little brain, my feeble little attempt at gaining knowledge of paranormal investigation fell all on Ghost Hunters' shoulders. I mean, you and I, when we first started our amateur track down paranormal investigating, we basically copied what the Ghost Hunters crew was doing.
Yeah.
Like
millions of other people.
Like millions of other people. Exactly. And one thing that I still want to try sometime, Mike, was one of their experiments when they did the the powder on the floor, the white powder on the floor that they, that maybe capture some sort of footprints of some sort on there. I want to try that sometime without causing a mess or damage to some place.
Well, you got to use the right stuff too. I mean, because you probably want to use flour that's more organic, because talc, I mean, that can cause infections, and definitely don't use Mr. Bubble.
Okay.
I mean,
I am not going.
I think they took that off the market for some reason. So,
all the things that I could have predicted to have been said on an episode of the Paranormal Zone, Mr. Bubble was not at the top of the list. So I'm impressed.
Yeah, and I think it's harder to get out a carpet. So I don't know.
And again, another reason I'm going with Ghost Hunters here, I am personally, is because I thought that, particularly back in the day, and I know they still do it, back in the day, they spent a good portion of the episodes letting you know what was happening, where they were going, the history, the case history, I should say. They gave you a good background of what you are about ready to experience, and Ghost Adventures does that. They do. But in it, again, it's sometimes the dramatic aspect of it leaves me kind of hanging a bit, because I'm like, I'm so focused on this visual in front of my face. I'm missing what Zach is telling us. And Zach, I think he maybe kind of like he highlights the freaky and the weird aspect of it, and they leave out the quote unquote boring aspects of, the story behind what they're about to experience. So I'm going to go with Ghost Hunters on the educational quotient. Mike, how about you?
Oh, absolutely, Ghost Hunters. Another thing I was going to say about that is, when they send a couple of their team members to like the library or to the town historian, and they really dig into the family history and the land history, the building history, you really get a sense of why something might be going on there.
No, absolutely.
The history of the whole place.
We mentioned her earlier, but if memory serves correctly, that's kind of what Amy Bruni specialized in when she was first brought on the show. She was kind of like the case investigator, looking into the backstory. the case historian, so to speak. So,
Mhm.
so we're both in agreement on the educational quotient. You know, Mike, it's getting down to the nitty gritty here. So far, ding, ding, ding. Well, I'll leave the final results here that people, I mean, they're figuring it out already as we go along. But yeah, only got 2 more to go here. Simply speaking, let's skip the OG quotient. I want to save that one for last. Evidence captured, Mike. Evidence captured. This one is tough. This is really, really tough. It might go a certain way here. We might end up being neutral. But do you want to take this one first and then throw it towards me?
Sure. Evidence captured, like with ghost hunters, like the Eastern State, you can't, it was the whole dude run.
You
scene,
mentioned
wasn't it?
the Saint Augustine Lighthouse, where those
And the St. Augustine Lighthouse.
the flipping those shadow figures peeking over the railing, the steps. That will stick with me forever. That is so cool.
No mistaking, the shape of something peering over.
Absolutely not. And I was searching for the exact episode of this capture, but when they caught that shadow figure like behind a pool table, I want to say it was a pool table. It was just, my gosh, it was so amazing. I mean, and so many other examples too. So I'm walking on your toes again, Mike. I apologize.
No, that's fine. But I think that was like in a basement of an old bar or a tavern or something.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But then like the figure that almost looked like it was in a cloak or a cape or whatever at Eastern State.
Yes.
It rushed towards them and then went back.
And then just bolted down I guess it was right next to the railing there. It was on the second level of the prison block, the cell block, I meant to say. And it just it took off out of sight after manifesting right there in front of the camera.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But Ghost Adventures, they've caught unbelievable evidence as well. I keep thinking about like the Gettysburg apparition, the residual audio of like cannon fire that they've picked up. I love that stuff. That stuff is eerie as hell. There's so many flipping examples here, and I apologize if it sounds like we're flying through it because we kind of are. We're on a time limit here, but do you remember the episode where like that ceiling fan got thrown? I mean, in a Ghost Adventures episode, got absolutely tossed. I mean, this is a heavy ceiling fan. We mentioned the brick, the very first special they had. That is unbelievable. That brick that flew through the flipping air, the full-bodied apparition that they captured. Oh man, this is a tough one, Mike. Mike's laughing at me right now. I'm just
kidding. Zach running through those hallways in that maze down
he's
that
thinking
basement.
about that again.
Just guys.
I know, but again, entertainment value, man. Entertainment. There's so many ways we could go with this, but I have to be neutral on this one, Mike. I have to give them both points because they have both captured just awesome stuff throughout the years.
Yeah.
Are you in agreement with me? Are you in agreement with me, or do you have something you're going to choose?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you because what they have caught and what is to me irrefutable, it's just amazing stuff on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, of course, on both shows, there's evidence that's kind of like, meh. But again, the difference between Adventures and Hunters is that Jason and Grant and Steve, after this is the word for Mike, delineate the evidence, they break it down. A lot of it they toss out because even if they have that slight doubt, when in doubt, toss it out. Whereas opposed to Ghost Adventures, everything they capture is something of the paranormal. Everything. And one thing that I have to point out as well, have they ever not done an EVP session? I'm talking about Ghost Adventures here. Have they ever done an EVP session where they haven't captured something and probably something that's growling or screaming at Zach?
Oh, sure.
And it's
because it's a demon. That's
everything
is a demon.
I want that recorder that Zach has because apparently it picks up everything at all times. But again, we kid because we love. We respect both of these teams so much.
We kid because there's reason to.
I got it. Zach is one of our dream guests, man. We can't rip on the guy because apparently he goes around blocking people on social media now if you give him a bad time. So,
well, dang, that'll just end my life.
I'm blocked by Zach. All right, Mike. Last but not least, okay, we both give the points to. We give them both points for evidence captured. Last but not least, I have.
Oh, hang on a second.
I have. Oh, there you go. Ding, ding,
Okay.
dingy, ding, ding. The last one, the OG Quotient. Yes, the original gangsters of paranormal programming. And we realize that there have been other programs before that, even going back as far as In Search Of, We're not going to say Leonard Nimoy was the OG because he was just a narrator. He didn't have anything to do with this stuff.
Oh, no, you don't say anything like that about Leonard.
Oh, you're saying that he investigated these places? Are you saying that?
No,
are you saying that he went and he searched for the Loch Ness Monster?
Nope, doesn't matter. We're talking Mr. Leonard Nimoy.
Are you saying that he went and searched down Bigfoot and Sasquatch?
This was Spock. It doesn't matter. He was reporting it.
Okay, fine. I retract what I was saying.
What do we do about the people that report it? And this was Spock. So we're
okay. Word to the wise. Word to the wise. If you're listening to the show and you want to get under Mike's skin, say something not exactly positive about Leonard Nimoy, and he's gonna come after you.
Yeah. Well, don't make any dark mall jokes to Patrick.
Dark mall. I get it. Whatever. All right, Mike. Any number of ways and any number of reasons we could choose this, but the OG, the original gangsters, I mean, the classics, the Godfathers, any way you want to describe them. If you had to choose, we're not going with both on this one. We're saying if you had to choose the forerunners, the ones who really
there can be only one,
the one who were the propellant. Is that if that's a way to put it? The reason behind the paranormal explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you choose, man? Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters?
I have ascertained to delineate between the two, and I have come to the conclusion that the only OG, the capital O, the capital G, is Ghost Hunters. I mean, how can it not be? It cannot be surpassed.
I got you, Mike. I got you. I hear you. And I'm in agreement. I was going to try and be dramatic there and drag it out, but
when you start rubbing that stubble on your chin like you're really in deep thought, it throws it off.
Are you mocking my chin strap? I mean,
no, not at all.
My decades old chin strap that went out of style about 15 years ago. But hey, I'm still rocking.
I thought that's what you kids were doing nowadays. I don't know.
Well, it's called a chin strap, and apparently it's been out of style for a decade. But I still have it. So.
Because that's all I can grow.
That's all I can grow. Yeah. Hey, I can grow a upper lip hair, but I just can't connect it. I can't turn it into the Fu Manchu? Like this spot between the crease of my mouth down here to my chin, nothing happens there. So I can't. So it just it looks like a discombobulated pile of dirt on my face. So.
But yet he keeps it.
Hell yeah. No, I'm talking about the upper lip one. Well, I'm trying to.
There you go.
I have problems connecting the two to make it a seamless. I was going to say hair job. Good God, that sounded terrible. Woo.
The thing that bothers me about it though is Patrick makes it. He thinks it makes him look like that Don Johnson.
Johnson.
Just overgrown, just a little stubbly look.
Okay, you're using a Miami Vice reference.
Yeah.
In 2023, when we're talking about the paranormal? All right. Well, we got Mr. Bubbles and Don Johnson.
That's right. Wow.
So,
jeez.
Well, before we go off the rails here, I'm in agreement here for any number of reasons, but the main one being that personally for me, and I think I'm speaking for you too as well, Mike, not the band U2, they really got us into, really stoked our paranormal passion. I have such fond memories of looking forward to watching episodes of Ghost Hunters every Wednesday night or whatever the hell night.
Couldn't wait
for it. And sometimes legitimately being creeped out by some of the stuff they had, because it was right before my bedtime and I'd sit there and look at my,
I remember that.
Looking at my beagle buddy and I'm saying, buddy, why don't you come in here to the bedroom, and keep me company. It's creepy in here.
And in the meantime, I'm living in a house that is extremely active, and I get excited every time
I know. I got
see something or hear something new.
Hey, I've come around. I've come a long way here, Mike. I'm dying to experience stuff here, and I think maybe I have, as you have for certain. So, Without any further ado here, we give the final OG to Ghost Hunters. The final tally, Mike. Ghost Adventures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 check marks. 6 points for Ghost Adventures versus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 check marks for Ghost Hunters. Man, it's a bloodbath. Ghost Hunters, without a doubt. They destroyed Ghost Adventures, according to you and I. So, yet again, Ghost Hunters and the Battle of the Greats comes out on top. We'll have to do this again in another 5 years, Mike.
Based on the thoughts of two people.
Right,
This is not a nationwide poll.
No,
or
this is
anything.
not a scientific platform by any means, but
not a Twitter poll or nothing.
and again, we love both these shows. We have
Absolutely
so many fond memories and such respect for both of the programs. We wish them nothing but success, and because we want to continue watching, and we want to continue talking about them. So, well, Mike, this has been a blast. Unfortunately, we're out of time here. We got to wrap it up. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. We hope you guys enjoyed this Ghost Adventures versus Ghost Hunters. We had a blast again. Ghost Hunters comes out on top without a doubt. Go check out my Mercari page, by the way, if you want some prints. I'd appreciate it. I'd love to see you guys there. Mike, until next time, what do our friends of the podcast need to do?
Peace out.